Turtles and a look back at Barnstable this morning on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, August 31st, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. A loggerhead turtle that apparently is on a long journey turns up in Hyannis Inner Harbor. About 9:30 Wednesday morning, a man fishing off the bulkhead near Spanky's Clam Shack entangled a 15-pound loggerhead turtle in his line. Seasonal mooring assistant Tori Montesi tells us the turtle was disentangled with help from Bob Prescott of the Mass Audubon Society and Adam Kennedy of the New England Aquarium. The turtle was later released at Dowses Beach. The unusual part of the story, the turtle was tagged, and data reveals that it was released in Texas in early July. The New England Aquarium is further investigating this turtle's long journey. Well, it's back to school on Tuesday. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mary Chakowski, has advice for students and families.
Certainly, each year is a transition, from the summer to the first day. And I think, letting parents know that, certainly to have conversations with their children about the back to school and making sure that, they've got their appropriate materials that they need. I know a lot of schools have been moving towards utilizing iPads. We're in the process of doing something similar, but we've got to work on our infrastructure around our wireless networks. But, once again, I think parents ought to make sure that students get enough rest. That, once school starts, they're back into a routine, back into a structure. And I certainly encourage parents, the homeschool communication is so important. Communicating with their teachers. If things are, parents have concerns, I think it's important that they start the process with the teacher and certainly work up through the process if they still have unresolved issues. But, have conversations about what's happening with your children. We're going to be having a new website, and we're encouraging teachers to be posting assignments on the website so parents can check, see what's happening in classrooms, see the kind of work that their children are engaged in, and have conversations with them. I think it's so important, for parents to have that homeschool connection. And we've got a great parent support group in our community. Parents have been very, very, when I look at our back-to-school nights and I look at the number of events that we hold, our PTAs, they're very, very active in our schools, and I just think it's important for parents to maintain that open communication with the school.
Students go back on Tuesday, September 4th. Governor Deval Patrick recently signed legislation creating a sewer construction fund for Barnstable. Director of Finance Mark Milne explains.
We implemented the increase in rooms tax and the meals tax back in fiscal year 2011. Midway through the fiscal year. They became effective October 1st, 2010. So we collected some money in fiscal year 11, and then we collected an entire year's worth in this past fiscal year 12. Those funds were collected and were part of the general fund initially because this legislation was pending. However, we did not use the revenues to pay for any specific expense because we had this outstanding legislation. We're anticipating this to be approved, and now that it is, what we will be doing is transferring any money that was collected from those taxes into this construction fund so that we may start accumulating those resources. And to date, it's been a little more than $2 million.
More than $1 million of revenue is generated each year from the rooms and meals taxes in Barnstable. This Thursday, Town Council will meet. The Renewable Energy Commission will make its presentation about solid waste disposal. Town Council President Fred Chirigotis commented on this week's episode of Barnstable this morning.
Well, what is happening is we are moving towards the end of a long-term contract with regard to solid waste disposal with CMAS. What is expected and what is happening is the cost of waste disposal are, I think, almost doubling, if not more than that. They're going way up, all across the country, but especially right here. So our concern is how do we maintain costs here in Barnstable and across Cape Cod? Well, our concern is Barnstable. How do we maintain costs that are reasonable, fair, and promote a whole host of things? Primarily, how do we keep our environment clean, and how do we continue to recycle and do a good job so that we can keep our costs low? Those are the things that the Renewable Energy Commission has been looking at with regard to solid waste. They're looking at a whole host of things, but with regard to solid waste, we need to consider, a whole host of things. Do we maintain the what we have now, transfer station and stickers? Do we go to a pay-as-you-throw type system? Do we have, I know a lot of people like the idea of curbside pickup. I mean, so there are a whole host and range of things that need to be discussed to decide how do we efficiently and economically continue to dispose of our trash, and at the same time, well, I guess at the same time do it in a way that is cost-effective for everybody.
Town Council meets Thursday at 7 p.m. in the second-floor hearing room at Town Hall. Senator Dan Wolf was on Martha's Vineyard last week, cutting the ribbon on a new solar project.
A collaborative project, like so many of the good things that happened between Vineyard Power, who was very prominent at the event, and the folks at Kronig's Market. It's a private market, small business that has really decided to work in partnership with the community and take energy into their own hands. And they see the opportunity to do a lot of small-scale distributive projects, and you and I have talked about that really hit some of the energy independence goals and the production goals we're talking about. It's got to be a hybrid mix between, forgive the pun if you will, between renewable, small-scale renewable, and some of the bigger projects. So it was an interesting event because we got to celebrate a relatively small project, which again is a solar array over a parking lot. It's kind of neat because it not only provides electricity, and this array that they're building now is going to provide about 70% of the electricity for the store that it's actually in front of. But it also provides shade in the parking lot. As you know, when you park your car in the hot sun in a parking lot, very often you get out to it and you almost don't want to get into it. So this provides shade for the cars underneath. It provides electricity for the folks in there, and it helps us meet some of our long-term big picture energy goals. So it's a home run on all fronts. They're looking to expand the model, so they've got a couple other parking lots on the Vineyard where private entities are looking in partnership again with Vineyard Power to do some more of these projects. So it's really an innovative.
If you visit the campus of Cape Cod Community College, you will notice a similar-looking solar canopy in place in one of the college's parking lots. Well, Labor Day weekend is here, and that means the unofficial end of summer. It marks the last week lifeguards will be at Barnstable's beaches. Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado reminds beachgoers to be safe.
We have lifeguards if you need them at Craigville, Dowses, and Sandy Neck, our three busiest beaches. And I'm anticipating going to fill up this weekend, so important to get there and get there early. The other sites, just be safe. That's all I'm asking is we do have staff on. The bathhouses are open. We do not have staff on at Loop. We do not have staff on at Hamblin's or Joshua's or Millway this weekend. So the bathhouses are locked there. So go to beaches that are open, and we'll be happy to take care of you with a nice, beautiful facility.
Summer may be ending, but fall is just around the corner. There's plenty of things to keep you busy this fall.
The programs are on our website. They're on our Facebook page, but we have them here at the Highness Youth and Community Center, or we actually deliver them all to the schools. They're waiting for them to be put in their backpacks at each and every school out there. So you need to plan out your fall, pull out the program brochure, and sit down with your kids and figure out what it is they need to do to keep themselves busy. They all need to find some sort of passion and love, not just school. We want them to love school and be passionate about school, but other activities help make them focus and actually become better students. So we have, let's see if I can throw it out there really quick. We have babysitting. We have archery. We have BMX lessons if somebody's looking to BMX bike. Bowling. We also have fencing, field hockey, flag football, field trips for a football game that actually we get a special deal on. We also have a running program, and because this summer the Junior Ranger program just kept filling up over and over again, we've added that as a fall program as well. You can get skateboard lessons, tennis lessons, we have yoga, we have all kinds of stuff. Make it happen out there.
Visit the town's website for full Leisure Services fall activities. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.